Mic test 1 2, microphone test 1 2. Good evening, folks. It seems as though we're having a little problem here with our microphone. Just give me a couple of seconds. Let me try and fix that. Mic test 1 2. Alright, seems as though we fixed that, but now the volume is just a little too much. So let me know how you're receiving me there now in the chat. And yes, you are hearing that correctly as we go live into qualifying now. I will begin the introductions shortly. Dominic Charles is, however, the first one on track. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the penultimate round, round number 7 of our Caribbean Porsche Cup. And yes, that is my voice after this weekend's Need for Speed, round number 1 of the Need for Speed Karting Championship. And it's not just a karting championship, they also have the Supermoto junior and senior categories within that championship, which features bikes like the hypermotard bikes that we've come to know from around the world that performs and competes in those supermoto categories. It was really some nice exciting racing, and yours truly was chief steward for that day of racing yesterday. And it seems as though I've come down with a hoarse throat now, hoarse voice, actually. And I'm going to try my best to keep the commentary going, but of course, I do not want to strain my voice more than it is already been crucified. All right, so we're going to see now purple sectors from Dominic Charles as he heads on through sector 2. Locks up the brake there in the penultimate corner. As he comes around, he slides that car out of that corner, gets back on the power there, not quite nicely. It's not that smooth for Dominic Charles, but he's going to cross the line now with a 51.839 on the board. Giovanni Melville with a 53.238, followed by Raul Pertab with a 52.050, Xavier Pratt with a 52.138, Zayad Razak with a 51.979. Kyle Prague, new here in this championship, joining from Trinidad and Tobago. A special request was made by Trinidadian Dominic Charles for this guy, and it's said to be that he is quite confident in Kyle in performing quite well here in the Caribbean Porsche Cup. So we're going to look out for Kyle and see what he is capable of. He's already got a 53.303 on the board, and he's coming to grips with this Porsche on him. Very close there to the wall, I might add, as Dominic Charles goes even faster there with a 51.415. Raymond Seabaran with a time of 53.060. Safir Roshandin now making his way to complete a fast lap here for himself. It is going to be a 52.071 there to complete our 9 competitors that we have on the track currently. So if you guys can just, I can see Mr. Brilliant saying our ears are saved, but do let me know, Mr. Brilliant, if it's still coming through quite well or if I need to change anything else here. 62, sorry, 52.6 by 5. Raymond still with that 52.840, but he's trying now. He's got a lot of traffic around him, by the way. Dominic is already comfortable with that. He's back in the pit lane. Where is Matthias Parker? He's following Kyle Prague at the moment. Not doing so well there, and it seems as though the car is damaged as Kyle Prague outbreaks himself into that corner, and he's going to lose that qualifying position. Well, not qualifying position, but a track position there to Matthias Parker. Tab has got a lot of breathing room around him at the moment, but he's not performing quite well through that first sector there with 4 minutes left here in qualifying. And thank you, Mr. Brilliant, for that update on the comps. Here goes Matthias Parker, setting up fastest sector 2 time now. Comes across the line, Matthias cannot go faster now. Let's take a look forward. What about Zayad Razak? Not on a good lap here. Zafir Roshan then begins one now, but he slightly outbreaks himself there into turn number 1. Funny, you usually see turn number 1 being a hairpin, but it is out here at the Norisring. And yes, we're still in Germany. This is basically a street circuit, and yes, it is definitely 100% real. So you can look up the DTM series and you will see that in quite recently actually that they've been here. If I'm not mistaken, then it was a last year's video that I was looking at. Zafir Roshan doing well there in sector 2 as he comes across the line now. Cannot get it done. He's down 10th and a half there on that final sector. What about Rayad Razak? No, cannot get it done as well. Raymond Seabaran is now on an outlap. Kyle Prague is getting better here, and he's seeing green through the 2 sectors. Comes across now. He's trying to make it the shortest run to the line, and he goes 51.970 to be the last person in the top 5. Tab does go slightly faster there now, but it's not enough to challenge Xavier Pratt, who is in 3rd position. Take a look at Raymond Seabaran now. Raymond down on that first sector by a lot, so we should not expect anything from it. Oh, Shivani Melville running that straight on there, or maybe trying to stay out of the way of the guys around the track. Nothing given there from Matthias Parker. Xavier Pratt back in pit lane. So is Dominic Chassafir. Roshan then up into fourth position now with a 51.792. Robert Tab has been relegated to number 5 with a 51.929, and he runs that curb. Those Porsches do not like that amount of destabilization. I can tell you that. Zayat Raza trying to get around Giovanni Melville now to continue on. Safir Roshan over the line for another lap here. Robert Tab, though, is the one who we need to be watching for that, as he's challenging for that position back from Safir Roshan. Safir Roshan then coming off of another podium finish there last week and at the Hockenheimring, after we lost Jamaican Jaden Harrison, who's just entered the chat, by the way, and just entered the server, rather. And it seems as though he might be... Nope, he's not going to be able to get a lap down. He's going to miss this qualifying and have to start from the back. Robert Tab is hundreds away from his personal best time through Sector 1 as the checkered flag is flown now for the 10-minute qualifying session. Comes across the line. He does go a little faster, but it's not enough to retake that position from Safir Roshan then. Doesn't seem as though Safir Roshan then made it around in time to get a decent time on the board. Seems like Kyle Pratt is going to take that back into pit lane. And Razak, Giovanni Melville, and Raymond Seabaran are going to say that is what they can get done.
Good luck, guys.
All right, here we go. 5 seconds on the board now. Lights out, and they are off, ladies and gentlemen. It seems as though Dominic has a good start. Saphir as well has a good start there too. And on the inside goes Xavier Pratt on breaking in. Matthias Parker, can he get it done there on the inside? Seems as though, yes, he has. And also Robert Tab up into third position to Matthias Parker, losing out hugely here. As now he's back into fifth position now. But he's fighting back Saphir Roshanin at the moment for that position. On the break in they go. Zayad Razak rides the curb there. Kyle Prague, Raymond Seabrand having a little fight. Also in this huge little tussle there between Kyle and Raymond. Kyle losing the rear end of that car. Alex Seeps is in this one. And starting the race a bit late there, probably from pit lane. Matthias Parker with the fastest lap here. Though as he's trying to reclaim the positions that he has lost here, he probably also would have wanted to start off quite conservatively in order to avoid any instances of incidences. And Saphir Roshan then will lose the rear end and spin that around now. He's going to rejoin the race here in 7th position. I think he might lose that one to 8 to Raymond Seabrand as well. So now he's gone all the way back into 8th position there. Spreading it out at the moment though. Zayad Razak trying to catch up here. Robert Tab 5 in a fight with Xavier Pratt now. Matthias Parker did make his way up there into 4th position now. Dominic Charles already with a comfortable lead there. 2.5 seconds to turn that in already. Zayad Razak trying to catch up now to Matthias Parker. Matthias slides that car along that wall. He has lost some time there though, Zayad Razak, but who isn't losing time is Robert Tab. Let's take a ride on board with the Guyanese. Xavier runs it really deep there, and Raul having to correct that oversteer, so he would have lost the time that Xavier would have lost as well. They cancel each other out. He's not gaining anything on Xavier at that point. On the break-in they go into the first turn once again. Good turn in there from Robert Tab, and a really good exit as well to get back on the power here to stay close and in contention to Xavier. But look in the rear view mirror up ahead, on the top of the screen behind is Matthias Parker chasing Robert Tab now for this position as Raw loses a bit of footing now to Xavier Pratt. On the inside is Matthias Parker having a little bit of touch there on the bumper. Robert Tab having to do a lot of oversteer correcting there. Dominic with a 51.660, that's the benchmark. Matthias though, head to head down the front straightaway here. Robert Tab trying to give him as little room as possible as they now open out into turn 1. They go on the break. Zayad Razak also trying to get up in this fight. Matthias Parker though making that move stick now into turn number 1. He reclaims rather that 3rd position that he lost during the course of the start of this race. Oh, a little bit of loose panning there from Robert Tab on the rear end. So now Zayad will be having a really good look at that right now with the Guyanese. That's a really deep turn. He's going to have to watch how he gets back on the power. He does really well, though, to stay on that bumper of Raw Pratap. Having a look on the inside. Anything given here, he's actually going to stay there, but Raw does not take that bait. And he's going to lose that bit of footing now that he had against Raw. But you'll never know what could happen unless you try it. Oh, Saphir Roshan then smacking the wall really hard there. He's got to be careful not to end up with damage. Let's take a look at the inside. An onboard shot here. See whether he does have damage. Really smooth there to correct that oversteer. Well done to that youngster in doing so. It seems as though he does not have damage as that steering wheel remains quite straight. He's gaining though on Kyle Bragg here, the young Roshandin. I want to take you back to this fight though as Zayad closes the door, closes the gap some more to Raw Pratap as Raw closes the gap as well to Matthias Barco. Stick a ride now on board with Zayad Razak. Dominic Charles with another fast time, 51.511 from the Trinidadian. Just got to be able to remain consistent this time. He takes the correct line through this corner here. But he is struggling on the exit of these corners. Is Zayad Razak. He loses it all there right now. The Raw Pratap and Matthias Barca. The Raw Pratap continues to try and close this 1 second gap to Parker. Currently Xavier Pratt enjoying that second position lead here against Matthias Parker, but he's being trailed by Dominic Charles, or rather Dominic Charles is trailing him by some 5.5 seconds now. The Trinidadian with a dominant and commanding lead here at the Norisring. He too brushes the wall there, but nothing given at the moment. Kyle Bragg and Raymond Sebran, I thought I saw briefly, came together there. Saphir Roshandin, though, with a pass now on the Trinidadian to get up into 6th position. So he's reclaiming those positions lost there is Saphir Roshandin. Raw Pratap getting a little bit closer now. It's well under a second to Matthias Barca. Let's take a ride on board with this fight. Seems as though there's a bit of yo-yo going on here at the moment. As you gain some time, you lose some time to each other here as they make their way around the Norisring. It's now 6.5 seconds from Xavier Pratt to Dominic Charles. Dominic Charles just knocking in those laps there. And I want to take a ride on board with the Trinidadian now to see just how he's completing it. Look at the placement of his car, the lanes that he's going to take around this course course. Brakes a little before the 100-meter board into turn number 1 he goes. Does not clip that curve, but does get a lot closer than many are getting to it. Into turn number 2 he goes. Brakes after the 100-meter board and trail brakes that car into it actually. Gets back on the pump ever so slightly to try and help the car rotate, and runs that wide and straight for as long as possible, remaining very close to the right hand side of the race course. Clips the apex just ever so little there, and you make it as close as possible to the race line here. That is a lap of the Norisring here from Dominic Charles's point of view. They're all spreading out now actually as they get accustomed to their cars. They're not suffering anything at the moment, and they're all getting comfortable to the point where they must prepare to have that scheduled pit stop done and completed. It's a mandatory pit stop for you to get your tires changed, and pit window goes open at the 35-minute mark. As a matter of fact, it is open right now, as we do see Matthias Parker trying to close the gap here. Sorry, Robert Tapp trying to close the gap here to Matthias Parker. But no, it's not going to be done. It moved from 1 second to now 2 seconds there for Robert Tapp. They're all spacing out. Zayad Razak as well has lost his foot in there. Kyle Prague is not that far away from Safir Roshan, but it's whether he can close that gap or not. Raymond Seabrand suffering quite a lot in this event actually. It's not an easy track. It might look simple, you know, they said the same thing about South Dakota Circuit when we had the small track. Well, it's a very simple track, but wait until you get into that second sector through the gooseneck and so on. It gets a little bit more difficult to try and put down the power to get down the front straightaway. And it's quite similar here with this circuit when you have to deal with so many corners with as tricky as a car as the Porsche 911 Cup cars from 2016 into 2017. These cars were used. So Raymond Seabrand, unfortunately, not very fast in this combination at the moment here. Suffering a lot here in 8th position. It's now a 7-second deficit there that Xavier Pratt has to deal with. I'm pretty sure he might have just given up not to fight for that one there, but Dominic Charles in a commanding lead there over the Guyanese Xavier Pratt, who's going to gain a lot of points here in the championship after missing out in quite a few rounds, I might add. He's doing well to stay ahead of Matthias Parker too, who was quite better there in qualifying against him. So we're currently going to look to see who's going to be the first one to get into pit lane here. It's not going to be Xavier. It's not going to be Matthias. Raul, nope. Zayad, nope. Safir Roshanin is going to continue on here as well, as their race strategies do not call for it at the moment. A lot of damage here on Kyle's car actually. He's definitely been through a lot here with this car. We've lost Giovanni Melville in this one, and Alex Siebes has definitely not been able to partake in this one. We've lost Jaden Harrison as well too, who unfortunately had some technical difficulties in joining the server. It does seem as though Mateus is trying his best here to catch Xavier Prat, but Xavier doing quite well to keep that car ahead of him. Let's take a ride on board with Matt. Is down now to under a second for Matthias Barker to Xavier Prat in this one here. Now he's catching him at an immense rate of speed now. And if I was Xavier, I'd be worried at this point. Look at him close the gap here and clipping that apex as he should there. Xavier Prat losing an enormous amount of time now to Matthias Parker. Matthias is fired up and he's fighting now for the second position before the pit stops too as well, which is great for good measure. Al Prague is the first one to head into pit lane now. But we're not quite sure if it's a scheduled stop or if it's his pit stop here. And I do not want to look away right now from this one, but he's gonna outbrake himself this time around. Xavier Prat does hit that apex. So he survives for another half lap, it seems, Xavier. As Matthias has begun to turn the pressure on, almost hitting the Armco barrier there. As Cal Prague does get back on the race course now, you can see how much Xavier Prat is attacking those corners as compared to Matthias Parker, but he's not losing a lot of time for it. So it's just a matter of two different lines here working their way around. Almost half a second now to Xavier Prat is Matthias Parker. Gets to hit that apex once more. So does Xavier Prat. They're both on a really good racing line there, but Xavier just ever so slightly touches that wall. Really good car control here from Matthias Parker as well. At just about 6/10 of a second here now for the both of them. But who will try to perform the overcut or the undercut against each other is yet to be known here, with 25 minutes and 10 seconds left on the board. Big mistake there from Xavier Prat now, as Matthias Parker gets to close the gap under half a second now. He's got to get that slipstream going, but no, he's not following Xavier here. Might be a mistake on his accord, but he is gaining some more time. Brakes a little bit later there than Xavier as well. Now he's right on the bumper of that car. A little bit more ambitious is Matthias Park. He's braking a little bit more later as well. This is the closest fight we've got for you right now. And you see Xavier continuously braking that slipstream, but Matthias is not following him at this point. A little bit huge mistake there from Xavier now has placed him into the clutches of Matthias Parker at this moment in time. Matthias now just has to choose when the time is right to strike against Xavier here. Here goes Matthias Parker in pit lane. Now he's going to try the undercut here on Xavier Prat. Let's see how long this pit stop is going to be. Seabrand 2 enters pit lane, but here goes Matthias Parker now after his mandatory change of tires there. He will get out the pit here. 43.01 there from Matthias Parker. What about Raymond Seabrand? What will he produce here in this one? Cal Prague already took his pit stop, so we're looking at him who comes around the second to last corner there. Raymond Seabrand does get going, and he will be able to get out ahead of Kyle Pratt? No, Kyle gets back into that position. Proper Tab is in pit lane now though. Charles seems to like he's about to get into pit lane as he puts down a blistering 51.417 now. Upper Tab gets back out of there at 42.84 there on the clock. So we're looking at Zayad Razak and Safir Roshan. Then Safir is heading into pit lane now. So Matthias Parker should be able to reclaim that position there. Zayad Raza carries on. Xavier Pratt does not come into pit lane just yet. Will Dominic Charles pit on this one? I do believe so. No, he's not. He's carrying on. Zafir does get going once more here now. It's a 42.81. Not a bad stop there from him. into that 6th position. Zayad Razak goes into pit lane now. Still to pit is Xavier Pratt and Dominic Charles, who gets into pit lane now as well. Zayad gets going now. It's going to be a quick stop from him, is 43.1. It's actually a slow stop. He's got to watch now with Safir Roshanin, who's going to be able to jump to retain that 5th position now over him. Excuse me. Zayad is right there with him, actually. Xavier Pratt is in pit lane now. Dominic Charles gets out with a 41.83 to his name. Remains in the lead of this race at the moment, of course. As Xavier Pratt does pit behind him. But here comes Matthias Barca on much warmer tires now. And he's going to try and make a move now for Xavier Pratt. Xavier is on a fresh set of tires here, but it's going to be quite cold for him. Matthias Park has had a lap of warming up to do in this car, so he should be a little bit advantageous as Zayad Razak now, Safir Roshanin go head to head now for this 5th position as well. Zayad touches the wall ever so slightly there. And you can see the damage he's suffered there from hitting the side of that car against the wall. Safir Roshanin doing well to hold on to this 5th position now, while Matthias Barca is getting closer to Xavier Pratt. Zayad Razak outbreaks himself there. Let's take a look at Matthias Barca and Xavier Pratt now, as Matthias does get even closer now. Nothing given though, with a little bit of that advantage that he had in the pit stop. The undercut definitely did not work there, and we see he's having a little bit of trouble there, Matthias Barca. There's Robert Tab in the background there, hoping that these two fight until he can catch up to them. With about 16.5 minutes left in this race. Great corner there from Matthias Barca. He's really close now to Xavier Pratt. Seems as though Xavier is much stronger through this 2nd sector than Matthias is. But he's quite close at the moment. He's got to carry a little bit more speed through that corner, Matthias Barca, to try and stay on the rear end of that Porsche ahead of him. Zayad, unfortunately, is not being able to continuously close that gap to Safir Roshanin. and he's currently 7/10 away from that 5th position. Matthias might be biding his time here at the moment, and as you can see in the background, there goes Safir Roshanin and Zayat Razak. Great exit there by the two of them. And Matthias does seems to be trying to get in the slipstream of this car here. But it's this particular turn as Matthias does get a better run here. He's much closer here heading down the front straightaway. And he's choosing to not follow Xavier once again to try and capitalize on the slipstream effect here. Oh, a little bit of mistake there from Xavier once more. Matthias Parker's right in contention now, is he? No, not quite just yet. They both collide into that wall once more. They've got to be careful with those suspension and steering arms there. Well, the suspension, rather. Matthias found himself in the incorrect gear there, it seems, as Safir Roshanin has been able to open up that gap to a 2nd and keep it there for the time. But it keeps yo-yo in between these two right now for this 2nd position, ladies and gentlemen. Matthias Parker and Xavier Pratt. In the meanwhile, I'd like to take the time out to remind you that our championship here at the Caribbean Porsche Cup Championship is brought to you by Darthan Investments, along with Subbies Sandwiches and Cafe, and our good friend at Rick Labs, who is responsible for the application creation behind the scenes here to assist us in creating or generating the results, rather, from some coded material that is set a course affords us in the results panel. So major shout out there to those 3 partners that we have on board for this championship. Closer now and in the slipstream though is Matthias Parker, but on the inside is Xavier Pratt trying to hold on to the 2nd position. Really good there, even though it was a short corner for Xavier. Manages to hold on to that 2nd position once more. Safir Roshanin continues to open up that gap. It's almost a 1.5 seconds now to Zayat Razak. Once again, he touches the wall there. Matthias Parker, he's not quite in control of that car through that corner. Now it seems as though Raymond Sibaran is back in pit lane as they both run deep now, but Matthias Parker with a better line there through the hairpin of turn number 1. Now they go side by side through turn number 2, and now breaks into turn number 3 here. Matthias Parker, though, still cannot capitalize on all the mistakes that Xavier is making at the moment to take that 2nd position away from him. Here he is on the braking, though. He's trying to bring that car side by side. He's good enough to make that corner, but it's not good enough to take that position just yet here. Matthias Parker, as he continues to fight for 2nd. No, this time around it's Matthias Parker who makes the mistake and running really deep into turn number 1 on the braking there now. He's going to lose a lot of time to his countryman Xavier Pratt in that one. It must be frustrating as well to try again. And I must say well done to Xavier for being so consistent in certain parts of this track where he's actually stronger than Matthias Parker, and he's been able to hold on and keep that second position here against him. Really good exit there now from Matthias Parker. It seems as though he's finally trying a different line through there. But he's ever so slightly cutting off that inside lane. There is Xavier Pratt. The problem with that line that Matthias Parker is taking is that he needs to get back on the power at a certain point. But the fact that he's so close to Xavier Pratt is that Xavier is where he needs to be when Matthias needs to get back on the power. So he's not being able to get back on the power as soon as he'd like. But now, here it is once again, a mistake there from Xavier Pratt that has allowed. Nope. I was just to say that has allowed Matthias Parker, but here he goes with a different lane through this section of the track. Matthias Parker to try and capitalize there on the mistakes of Xavier Pratt through that first turn, but still nothing given here. He's a little bit he's much more closer now though. Let's take a ride on board. Really close here now as the exit of that penultimate turn. Well, I should say second to last turn. A lot of time there. He's even in the wrong gear, it seems. Matthias Park, if I'm not mistaken. This is the closest fight we've gotten to you. We're under 10 minutes now to the drop of the checkered flag. And if you're now joining us, welcome to the 7th round of our Caribbean Porsche Cup. Ooh, the ticker there, at the top, the stinger at the top, still says 6th round. Do apologize for that. But it's been a really tough weekend here for your commentator. And of course, you can tell from my voice, it's not been quite well for me this weekend as well. But here we go back to the racing as Matthias Parker gets a little bit closer there than his previous lap to Xavier Pratt, but it seems as though he's not being able to crack this egg here. Matthias Parker, as Dominic Charles sets a new track record there. Well, I wouldn't say sets a new track record. Well, in this race at least, and now they're side by side. But you see right there, Xavier Pratt is still making his way around that corner and still is on the brakes. So when Matthias Parker should be able to get off his brakes to let that car slide on through so that he can get back on the power. There's a car ahead of him. So it's not quite being done there for him. He's got to try elsewhere on this track. Almost gets into the rear end there of Xavier Pratt. Now he's had to pull out of that one and he's going to lose a lot of time now to him, as there's a bit of cloud cover now on the track. Things should get cool around the circuit actually. Let's see how they perform in these conditions though. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, and if you'd like to see more from us in the future, do hit that subscription, that notification bell as well in the subscription process. It will definitely alert you of any videos we upload and every time we go live. So I can see just about 13 of you guys watching us right now. Just go ahead and hit that like button for me if you haven't already. Thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoy what we've gotten here. It's a Bit of a slow race, I'd say, isn't it, at the moment? We've got this only fight to bring to you, but I think it's a matter of just surviving this circuit, as it might seem simple, but I'll tell you what, when you get in this car and sit down and perform these laps, you can see how demanding it is, especially in a car like this Porsche. With a 51.263 though, Dominic Charles sets a new lap record here for this event. Taking a look back, though, another close fight that we were looking at was Safir Roshandin, but he's now losing time to Robert Tapp. So I think the last time we checked in, it was around 3 seconds or so, but now it is around 5 seconds. But you know, with his personal best being second position, and also with his 3 podium positions, I would say, within the last 3 races. I'll need to confirm that, actually. My memory is so bad. But yeah, it's not going to take us much longer to bring up the results here for the championships. And while I'm at it, I'd like to go through the points with you. This young man here, though, has been a surprise fit for us. And in the last event, as I'm going to take you back to this front fight, because I know you might be interested in that one while I get this up and running. He actually brought 3rd position in the last event, Safir Roshandin. The event before that is on the inside. Matthias Parker tries to have a look-see. Does he have the run, though? It doesn't seem so, as Xavier Prat remains ahead. So he was 3rd in the last 2 events and 4th in the event before that. And has been doing quite well, Safir Roshandin, to be at least in the top 5 or top 10. So an honorable mention there from him, but even closer now is Matthias Parker against Xavier Prat, and he tries to bluff an inside move there to have Xavier skip over a little bit more to the inside, but Xavier was having none of it. We're under 3 minutes now, under 2.5 minutes rather. So the time is going by for Matthias to make his move here against Xavier Prat. Is this it here? Can he get back on the power now? A little bit of sliding there going on from them. Cuts back over though Xavier Prat, as he saw that he did clear Matthias. Oh, he's on the inside now, almost door to door there, already on the brakes though to try and capitalize on this exit. Look at how close he is now. Let's take a ride on board with him. Pulling out already. It's got to get done now as they see the time going. He's ahead of him to the apex. Can he get back on the power in time? Yes, he has. Matthias Parker with a pass there on the outside of the hairpin. Magnificent stuff there from him to take that second position away from Xavier Prat. But Xavier, does he have an answer here with just about 1 minute left in this event here at the Norisring? Round number 7 of our Caribbean Porsche Cup. And it seems as though my voice is returning ever so slightly here with the excitement that is brewing for our 7th round. They should have at least one more lap here left of racing, but it's your race winner, Dominic Charles, who has set the pace from the outset rather, with a commanding lead of around 31 seconds at the moment. Xavier Pratt with a huge dive bomb there into that corner. Matthias Parker slides that one out, but unfortunately, it's not going to be work done there for Xavier Pratt. He's got to try again, and I don't think he's going to have another chance unless Dominic Charles is already over that first finish line, rather, while the timer still is going. Yes, he's actually over the line. So even when it goes to 0 here, they've got one more lap to go. Can Xavier Pratt do it? Let's ride on board with him. An entire lap here to try and pass his countryman for the second position. Matthias Parker with a huge mistake there now. Can Xavier Pratt take much advantage of it? Oh, huge mistake there for Matthias Parker now. And the hope is still alive there for Xavier Pratt. Gets back on the power. But can he get it done here? Oh, he's on the brake and he's going to make a huge lunge for the inside. Is the job done? Matthias Parker almost rubbing doors with him. It's going to be a drag race down to the finish line. Now look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had my voice for this one. It's going to be a photo finish. Xavier Pratt, ladies and gentlemen, at the line, takes that back from Matthias Parker. What a run that was. Amazing, amazing stuff. Wow. Well done there to Xavier. Matthias, if you can just turn around there, head back towards Dominic and Xavier. Thank you. All right, folks, what an interesting race that was, coming down to the end there. Matthias Parker, you were pipped at the line, unfortunately. We've seen you setting him up lap after lap there to try and claim that second position, but just at the end, you've lost it, it seems. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, it was honestly a very beautiful battle between me and ZAB, but I just couldn't keep it together at the end. A slight mistake out of, I think it was turn 2.
That would be turn
Yeah.
3, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, and it just completely killed it for me, but still happy about the result.
All right, well, good to know about that. You do sound a bit sad, I should say, though, so I'm not quite sure how happy you are. But yeah, but good on you. We've seen you setting him up. It was quite a bit of an exciting run there.
Wait,
We
you're having
definitely
mic
enjoyed.
issues. I can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Nah, still breaking up a bit.
Right, let me see if I can leave chat and be back and see if that helps it. All right, is that much better?
Yeah.
All right. So as I was saying is we did see you setting him up quite a number of laps before. Was it that you were setting him up, or it was just that difficult to pass him?
Yeah, it was really difficult to pass. The track is very tight, and I don't know. I just can't get good exits, when I'm offline.
Well, we definitely seen that indeed, especially with the final turn there, or actually the second to last turn there, where it seems as though you were stuck behind him in most cases where you would be on the throttle. So we did see that indeed, Matthias Parker, and I just want to say thank you very much there for that outstanding performance, though you've lost that second position there at the line. It was still fun to watch you guys go at it. Xavier, what an interesting fight there towards the end, and it seems as though you've always had towards that last sector just a little bit more speed there to stay ahead of Matthias. Talk us through that one. We can't seem to hear you if you're trying to talk.
You hear me now?
Yep, just a little. Just speak up for us, please.
Yeah, I was just saying like finally a podium. I mean, after racing almost every single race and crashing on the first lap, is really a relief to have a good result.
Indeed, true. But it seems as though you've always had this defensive line around this course here. Was it something you thought about before, or was it something that became apparent to you on the fly as you went around here?
Honestly, I did do a little bit of practice beforehand with just defensive lines because I know even if I was ahead of Matt, he was 100 times faster than me. So, I had to work on my defense in order to stay ahead. Um, it was a really nice battle. I really enjoyed it. I really wasn't expecting to have it a photo finish at the end. Oh my God, I was kind of praying at the end there.
Yeah, that was really close, I must say. And indeed, you just mentioned that in case,
You're breaking up again.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, so you did mention just now that in case you were in a battle with Matt, actually, did I hear you correctly? So you're
Yes.
anticipating a battle with Matt, that is correct.
Yes, I was.
Well, that's good to know. Seems as though we've got a little history there behind it, and I'm definitely going to dig further for the viewers for next time around. But congratulations to you there, Xavier, and go enjoy that photo finish second position. But of course, once again, Dominic Charles, a commanding lead towards the end there. Talk us through your experience of this track, and was it difficult?
Well, it had like 5 corners, so it wasn't it wasn't too hard to learn the track. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just confidence under the brake in and stuff, and I know I could get the launch away from everybody, so it was just to keep my nose clean after that and try to run away with it. So
And that you did, my friend, that you did. Are you ready for this final round at the Nürburgring? Of course, it's not the Nordschleife, but the Nürburgring GT circuit. Are you quite familiar with that layout?
oh yeah, that's one of my favorite tracks. So
Oh,
I mean, if Jaden shows up, it'll be it'll be a little difficult, but.
what as it is, whether or not he shows up, you, sir, are the champion of the 2026 Caribbean Porsche Cup.
Ah, yes, thank you very much.
Yes,
Really happy
congratulations to you.
about that.
That's a second trophy to put on your shelf and a second title to defend come next year.
Yep, looking forward to it.
All right, well, there we have it. Dominic Charles there for the seventh round of a Caribbean Porsche Cup at Norisring. I just want to extend a happy and heartfelt Happy Father's Day to anyone in our Discord as well, our community there that is celebrating, and of course to our viewers as well, uh, who would have celebrated today as well. And thanks a lot, guys, for coming out this evening and putting on a show for us as usual. Hope to see you next weekend for the final round here of our Caribbean Porsche Cup. So I'll step away right now and close off this stream. Thanks a lot once more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that wraps up our seventh round there. I know the ticker on the leaderboard says sixth round. It's been quite a weekend for me here, and I did forget to change that. Uh, Going ahead, though, we'll try to make that mandatory on a list of things that we need to get fixed. But of course, what an amazing finish that was. My voice is actually coming together, and believe it or not, I didn't plan on doing this commentary tonight. I thought I'd just be able to hand it over to my partner there, Stephen Bowler, but unfortunately he had some work to get done, so I couldn't get his assistance tonight, and I decided, hey, let's just try and squeak my way through this seventh round, and we've ended up doing it, ladies and gentlemen, with your help too as well. Hope you liked the stream, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to be informed of every time we go live, make sure to hit the notification bell after the subscription button, and you'll be able to know whenever we go live and also whenever we upload a new video to the channel. My name is Stefan, and this is the Caribbean Sim Racing Organization. We host, at least right now, three, as I'm coming down to the close of this Caribbean Porsche Cup, three staple championships here at our organization. It is the Caribbean GT3 Championship, the Caribbean Porsche Cup, and the Caribbean Formula Cup. And sometimes we'll stick in the occasional one-off race, and of course we've got our Christmas time attack, which is becoming quite a known thing that we do here for Christmas season into the new year, where we throw up a server and just have the guys go at it to see who will get the fastest time. They're running the same cars with the same setup, and they try to get the fastest time around us, of course. So of course we look forward to that coming down towards the ending of the year. My name has been Stefan once again. Hope to see you in the next one next weekend, same time, same place, 9 p.m. here at the Caribbean Sim Racing Organization. See you in the next one.
Breathe through the fire, break the fire, chasing something true, caught in a bind. Maybe undo, maybe undo. 'Cause when every chord felt death, and the silence could be better, every motion falling flat, had to leave you, had to leave you. Now you died, tried to pull me back, like a fool, and put you to work. With the pain you left still fresh, I can heal you, I can heal you. Now you're tired.